hopefully audio working and everything else. Let's check it. Whoa, come on. I take like 1 or 2 days off and I forget how to do everything. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Having slept on it a little bit, I think the main bad guy, Tektite here, is just a little too big. That might be too small, something like that. It feels good. Higher. Put up a screen layer so I can trace my rough drawing, make it look nice. I'm a little out of practice with the getting up early and making time for myself, but today I did a good job. A reference image. Not that one. Yeah, this is in my folder of stuff to be glazed, and I gave up. I literally did eventually decide that listen, I'm down to glaze something if it doesn't make my drawing look weird, and it didn't make them look too bad. So I was on board, except for the fact that it really added so like, this is unnecessarily cumbersome to have something that like it won't run on like it should just be like a plug-in or a drag and drop. It's like, I get that it was free, but a lot of stuff is free and actually works really well, and that's the stuff that gets used. And the fact that there was just sort of like this, oh, we'll just make it really cumbersome and glitchy and and tout that as the solution. It's like that's not solving anything. And in the meanwhile, I don't know. It's possible it does more harm than good. But to each their own. I gave a shot at it. I glazed many of the earlier Zelda pieces here. But I'm not really looking to continue with that. Okay, so we can... I'll put this where everybody else can see it. My design for the Tektite's hopefully reading clear, although I can't see it very well down there, so I might put it up here. This is the impossible challenge, is to draw on the right layer before the coffee kicks in. I know that with the experience that I'm feeling more confident in my ability to correct in the painting phase now, so I'm not going to get too held up on whether my lines are perfect. I'll settle for consistency if I can achieve that. What if instead of just looking like eyebrows, they could sort of feel like they were coming out in Z space a little bit? So it's slightly more interesting. They can be subtle, but there can be little lines that show the direction of the forms. I guess I even drew these wrong. Looking closer, they're more like chicken wing drumsticks or something. That's fun. trying to make them expressive, ultimately, is the challenge. These creatures that have one eye, and yet I'm trying to get them to emote a bit as they get hacked to pieces. So that is to explain the creative back and forth a little bit. And initially, what was wrong with this pose was it was too much the same as everything else. Yes, it was like tilted at a different angle, but not in a way that differentiated enough from all the others. It feels flat, like a sticker, just presented to camera, same as all the others. And that's not what we're doing. I had a well, first off, so far the reaction that I'm getting on Tumblr is very good. I'm very pleased about that. It's, I'm still sort of figuring it out. It's a different kind of social network altogether, and my millennial brain is not adapted fully to it yet, but the potential there is kind of exciting. And it does seem like a more natural sort of Zelda fan art hub compared to other types of platforms, because I can see that there's a great amount of like fiction also sort of proliferating, and that's extremely cool. Interestingly, the fiction that it's always and I don't blame anybody for sort of going there with it, but a lot of the stuff I see is still just like the Link and Zelda shipping. Like, I get that, I don't mind that. It's happened since the very beginning. But if possible, if I ever did anything like that, I would want it to be more focused on like cool action or something. And then the shipping. It's one thing to draw something facing directly towards camera, or even a side profile view, but this double 3/4 kind of angle really tests it. It's like, did I really have a design for this, or just the idea of a design? trying to think of different things that might. Fun. Care for those little this portal of hairs. Just thought I'd try something, but too extreme. Little mouth with little teeth. Otherwise it will start looking too much like those Doom characters that I had, or Doom looking characters that I had defaulted to. You know, just trying to make them look scary. I made them look like a completely different franchise. They're still probably gonna look too scary, but that's not been a negative reaction anybody's had yet that they've said. That doesn't mean I want to go further. It just, I don't think I need to correct myself on that stuff yet. These things remind me of king crabs. It's sort of making me hungry. Hey, good morning. What is what does '07 mean? Is that the because you type that a lot and then no, yeah, it's like a crab. Little salute guy. Oh, it is. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I like that. I see it now. Oh. Well, the Tumblr recommendation is much appreciated. The feedback and encouragement has been awesome. So I appreciate your recommend there. I had another person ask if, and this was on Tumblr, ask if the link in the fairy piece where he's sort of holding the fairy in the bottle, they were like, is this AI? And I was typing out the response and the question just disappeared, so I assume the person sort of figured out for themselves one way or another. But I actually like that because it shows that the because anyway, if nothing else, I've been sort of preparing against being unable to defend myself by live streaming this in the first place and documenting the process so everybody knows it's legit. And then because that's how the AI guys win, is if we, I don't know, if artists really start, like, AI accusations, if they're accurate, it should happen, but if they're not, then we have a problem. And it ends up being like that movie, The Thing, where people can't tell who's the alien, so they all end up killing each other. Did you ever see that movie? It's like horrifying. But first off, the alien is horrifying, and then like their like ability for humans to themselves become horrifying in the face of fear is just amazing. Yeah. Oh, you like the dog? That's funny. The whole movie is worth watching. Definitely in my faves. But it's scary too. It's definitely one of those movies you end up wanting to watch twice because you're like, wait, I think I missed something. Or it's like, oh, that was a clue, or it's a great example of like what to do in a story to get people talking about it for 40 years straight. Yeah, it's been interesting. There's something I've been noticing about, one thing that I think I can tell about Tumblr is that it doesn't attach like a timestamp, or it doesn't display a timestamp of what is posted. So it's sort of interesting that it really is a kind of time, like whenever someone comes across it in their stream, you can see timestamps, but you got to turn them on in the settings. Interesting. Do you have them on in the settings, and do you think that's preferable? One thing that I liked is that I couldn't see a timestamp, and then that sort of made me think. I was like, well, this could be from yesterday or 3 years ago, but then also it doesn't matter because people are still like sort of creatively contributing to it as if it's fresh, right? Okay, interesting. I just for my own sake and sort of like trying to think of it differently as not that I want to focus on talking about social media necessarily, but it is interesting, like that what makes it different that I like, which is like, okay, it's not really going to be a great one for me to connect with my friends and like my in real life friends and family, but then what my in real life friends and family are posting on Facebook and Instagram are either just memes or AI shit that I'm like, okay, I don't want to see that either anymore. Like, I'd love to know what you're doing, or some fun pictures of your day, but I can't get that anymore. So everybody's just posting slop, and then it's like ads and slop. I'm like, oh god. So it is right now. It feels new and different. You like the fresh Zelda post? Okay, well, you can probably tell from being in it. I assume you've been in it for a long time. The what appears fresh and what appears stale. But it is like, for me, having that off just sort of makes everything seem fresh, and it is fresh to me anyway. So it wasn't certainly wasn't something that bugged me. The Tumblr old posts will get continuously gain notes over time, unlike Instagram or Reddit, where a post. That's what I was kind of noticing, and I appreciated it about it, because it's like the in Instagram, like if you're not watching something at the right time, or the feed is not predisposed to show you something, you'll just never see it. But it felt like with Tumblr, you could have more of a chance to sort of catch on a little bit. For good or for bad. And I guess probably what the downside of it is, old stuff will just keep coming back. And maybe that's tiresome, but I haven't really, obviously you've been using it for like a day, so I haven't run into that yet. And it's interesting because it's like, what I'll note it because I'm getting like feeds and likes constantly. That's extremely gratifying too. Like, I'm like, oh, a lot of people like my stuff. I'm just looking through this stuff. Old stuff comes back, but it's popular old stuff, and people will like attach a caption to it, and it's like makes it funnier, and then another caption on that caption. I'm like, okay, this sort of explains the now I get like the Tumblr blog meme idea a little bit better. So I'm like, okay, that's how it works. That's just not just people being clever or strange. That's like sort of, whether by design or whatever, it evolved into becoming that. And so it's not just people being like, when you're not really understanding like why things are formatted that way, it all just sort of reads as an inside joke, and that can be that can make people anxious who like aren't in on it. but but now I get it. Now I get the joke. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but it's interesting that like someone will like someone comes across it and they're like, oh, I like his art, so they'll like every single piece that I do, and then reblog like 3 or 4 of them, but not follow me, which is I'm just like, wait a second. But I'm like, well, maybe that's rude, or maybe it's not rude to do that. I don't mean like rude, but like, I'm like, wouldn't you want to follow me if you wanted to see more? But I'm like, maybe they know they just will if they do all those other things. And then meanwhile, on the other hand, like, because I'm also on Blue Sky, and I think you know that, but like on Blue Sky, people will follow me, but not like anything that I do. And then I guess Instagram is somewhere in the middle, where people will like and follow, but like that's like not a lot of traction there. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's got some traction there, but I feel like I'm fighting the algorithm more than it's helping me. It certainly isn't like spreading it far and wide, where it feels like fresh eyeballs are seeing me. And it doesn't really matter, because even if no one sees this or does anything, it's like, okay, well, I still have these cool pieces in a portfolio that could lead to something eventually or whatever. So I really do mean it. It's like, it's not really that important to me that that people like this stuff, but I like hearing it, and I do like the feedback where I'm like, people are like, oh, this is cool, this is like old school stuff, and I'm like, I guess I'm old school. but they mean it in the complimentary way, of course, and I'm like, yes, I'll be like, I am old school. I am 42 after all. Anyway. So it is fun to learn a new trick. What I'm trying to decide, like, I really need to make a firm decision. I kind of decided as I was doing the sketches the other day that I think this works better if it looks like the force of Link's sword is like not only chopping the guy's hand off, but sort of like lifting him up and off the rock that he's on, so he's not even like stably perched like in an attack necessarily. Is like maybe he tried to like swipe at Link, but Link not only chopped off his hand, but the whole force of the blow like is lifting him up into the air. And I need to make that clearer, because if I have his stance too wide, it's gonna look like he is just hanging out there while his arm is getting chopped off. But it's also sort of tricky because some of his body it's essentially screening his back legs. Maybe that's not the focus, so it doesn't matter necessarily, but you know what? Maybe this back one just gets a little foreshortened. People can figure this out. I don't have to show, like the context will make it clear. I don't have to show, like, the hand and the leg of the monster for people to understand that this is a leg and that's what's attached to it down below. Maybe I have to do that better, but experiment with some. Maybe having it up in the air is better. Maybe I'll just change my mind. Are you working on anything, any Zelda related stuff? Do you do stuff besides Zelda, or is it all sort of the focus right now? Not usually. Zelda's your only inspiration. What is your... Did we talk about this? What is your favorite Zelda? I mean, I can kind of tell that you're into the Ocarina of Time stuff. I'm just curious if it was... Okay. Yeah. I remember liking Twilight Princess a lot, but then, like, I don't remember it, but that's because I was being a pothead. Minish Cap and Spirit Tracks. I really liked, I had Phantom Hourglass on a DS, Nintendo DS, and that was kind of cool. Ocarina of Time was obviously amazing. My sort of inspiration and aesthetic for this stuff is very much rooted in the older games like A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, but like especially even Zelda 1 or Zelda 2, though probably very minimally Zelda 2. You were like 11 years old when you played Twilight Princess, so it left a bigger impression on me than it probably should have. There's something about things you do when you're young that like really maximizes them. I just feel like Zelda was always very stimulating to the imagination. You sort of like find your own way and explore. My parents had a decent sized backyard, and when I was younger and smaller, it felt even huge. And you know, there were trees and rocks that I could look under and pretend I was finding items. Or I have one drawing in the chamber I want to finish and pause, but I'm waiting for Istabrak to just go over it, but I think she's on a short vacation right now. Who's Istabrak? Do I know that person? This person, yeah, I follow this. So this is she's a very talented, I guess, educator that I've been. Hi, Uchi. Good morning. Yeah, here, let's bring it in. Yesterday sketch. Here, this person, there's lots of, yeah. Very cool. AI wants you to quit. I've listened to, or I guess watched / listened to a few of her YouTube videos, and I think I endorse that. Yeah. Yesterday I sketched up, quickly painted an idea of Zelda and XCOM 2. Quick doodle, but I kind of want to draw XCOM fan art. Yeah, do it. Like, my plan is not to be married to the Zelda stuff forever. It's definitely like on like my list of. I'm not going to make a. There will be no dramas. Only perhaps friendly rivalries, if anything, ever. But I'd be fortunate if this person even knew who I was ever. But this is it's cool to see. One thing I'll call out is I think it's a little easy to okay, so it's not easy, but it is a I don't getting views by drawing pretty ladies is like the easiest way. So when I do my so I was thinking about this. I was like, should I do a fan service Zelda? And I wouldn't do like a fan service Zelda, but I could make like a pretty Zelda portrait and probably see it do really well. But that isn't not safe for work does even more. And that's what I mean. Is like, of course I can do that. And what's interesting is it's like, I've been a commercial artist for very long. I'm like, and in that realm, it's like, it's strictly transactional. This is like, it's as good as prostituting, essentially. So there's no, I don't know why I would have hang-ups other than, I don't know. I don't know if I would want that to be my reputation. But then again, it's like some people get world famous and they love it, or it's like the world loves them for it. So I'm like, well, what is the hang-up? I mean, I can draw a naked body, that's for sure. I think that what I've run into as a real roadblock for the not safe for work stuff is that social media makes it difficult to post it. And so I think it's, if I had to make a buck or whatever, it's like I kind of need to get more visible first, or I don't know. I don't know what the best way to do it is, but I really have no, other than life drawing stuff, which I have plenty of. No. We're not talking about her for her. I don't think Istabrak doesn't do the. Sorry, I was talking. She is not a not safe for work artist, as far as I can tell. And that I respect, but you Google her and all of her stuff is like 99% pretty girls' heads, and because I don't just look at what I see, I look at what I don't see when evaluating stuff. But I like everything she was talking about or putting forth as good ideas is good ideas. So is she like a teacher or a mentor? Because you let's see, you said you're You were waiting for her to go over it. Interesting. We've seen your French girls, Jack. Yeah. Anybody who wants to see my French girls can dig a little deeper and they'll find them. No one draws French girls better than me, but the yeah, I know a guy who draws nuts for work, but he doesn't really enjoy it. He can't sell it at cons or share it with employers. That's kind of you know, it's like if I was, and I don't have like a I'm not like, oh, well, I'm a pure artist. The art and that kind of thing have always like historically, and they've never really been separate. It's just always like a what is like socially or politically acceptable in any given era. But those are arbitrary distinctions. In my eye, like I can evaluate anything for the art of it, you know. Whatever, human beings like what they like. It's okay. They get bored of it. Okay. There's the human reward system is very interesting, and getting a cheap like easy dopamine is not persistent dopamine. It will wear thin very, very quickly. The easier something is, there has to be sort of like a visibility and a risk. This is mostly tracking right. I'm liking how this is. Alright, we'll just draw a little bit of the last hand. And if there's little anatomical mistakes or whatever, I'll fix them eventually. So is she, like, would you send it to her and she would let you know if she had a critique on it? Because you should do. I think it's important to get, like, feedback like that. When I think I've mentioned this before, but I bring in my wife to look at the drawings, you know, when they get about 90% done. I'm like, hey, come look at this. And just let me know what you think. Yeah, it's a critique. And my wife is, you know, she knows what I can do, and she knows that I can take it. She knows that. And when I say take it, I don't mean like, you know, don't care about, you know, criticism. I very much do. And if it feels like I really messed something up, and I was like, oh man, damn, I did not do that well, and it hurts my feelings or whatever. But like, I won't hold it against her and, like, you know, never forgive her for it. It's not like that. Did anyone tell you that you look like a young Brendan Fraser? Yes, this has happened before. I also get when I was younger, when I was a teenager, my hairline was far, like believe it or not, like, this is receded at about an inch from on my temples. So I used to have a very close cropped hairline, and it was I used to get, and my nose was smaller, and I looked younger. So people would say that I looked like a Rob Lowe when I was young. And then these days I get sometimes Hugh Jackman. If the lights are low, people will be like, oh, you look like Hugh Jackman. Or and then sometimes I get Jason Bateman these days. I've had that a few times. And Jason Bateman is like, listen, he's handsome, but I'm better looking than Jason Bateman. It's a crock of shit. But I'll take it as the compliment it is. The Brendan Fraser I've definitely had before, and at certain angles, definitely. Yeah, I gotta work on my push-ups. Today I did different. I got up, and before I streamed, I did some yoga stretching and some light push-ups, and that's it feels good. Feels like my body's a little bit more lubricated. My joints are good. Anyway, the critique is important. So my wife will come in and she'll give it to me straight. She'll just be like, "Yeah, this looks good. What is this over here? Is that something?" And I'll explain. She's like, "Good. That's what that looks like." You know. Yeah, it's consistency. All right. Yeah, you do a thing. Let's see here. This isn't necessarily going to be very well drawn. This hand that is flying away, but it is it's also kind of in action. So if I make it look too tight, that'll work against the notion of it being in motion, the notion of the motion. Sometimes what can happen is, this happens a lot with artists, but they'll get so finely tuned and detailed with preciseness and accuracy that the drawing gets locked up. It becomes arrested, like it's frozen. Whereas something that has inconsistency, variety, a little bit of unexpectedness and chaos can feel more alive. These little claws are like, they're shaped like some sort of funnel chip. Like bugles. I don't know if anybody remembers those funny snacks. This part definitely needs to thicken up. Turn these off a little bit. That looks workable. Now I'm going to add a bunch of these little spiky little bits. There's little horns, there's little blobby bits, and then that'll have to be it. I'll have to hop in a second. The family is awakening. Busy day. Get to go to the mall and see Santa. son has his sort of a little preschool play that they're doing. And we're completely in the dark as to the plot. And he doesn't want to tell us anything about it. But I'm optimistic, so we'll see. He's been known to surprise me and do well. If I can just curb my anxiety about it. Having some solid line work is it's a very good place for me mentally to see. I can look at this and be like, okay, this will work for my process. I'm not going to run into a bunch of things that I'm going to regret. Couple more details and then we're done. Done for now. A few on this arm. That feels good. Except right here. Okay, this is what this is a tangent. This, where things that are overlapping in space aren't overlapping enough, and they are, in fact, touching, and that's weird. Compositionally, we abhor a tangent, so we just make it clear that one thing is overlapping in another. That's all. Better to warp and exaggerate and stretch than to have a tangent. It feels better. Any other weird tangents? This almost looks like a tangent. Now I would tweak that with some perspective and color so it made it clear that the overlap was there, but here that's okay. Alright, and the rest I can certainly live with. This is maybe looking a little too thick. A little bit better. Just keeping things keeping the design consistent. It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, because very few things naturally are, that are of size at least. This feels good enough for now. I can sleep on this. I think that I'll be happy looking at it again. Alrighty. Maybe open this up just a little more. Okay. I'll detail more of the blood and gore. I can't make it too excessive. It is a Zelda thing. As much as I would love to make stuff look violent, I don't think that'll be right for the aesthetic necessarily. Okay, like it's not Conan after all. Okay, so let's see here. Is it different than my normal thumbnails these days because they're all colored up? But try something. I'll make it look like I drew something. How do I do this? Here we go. Doesn't look good. There we are, yeah. Line this up, and then I'll be like this. Alright, that's funny. Okay, cool. Alright. If anyone's still there, thanks for joining, and I wish you a good day, and I'll catch you next time. Adios.